the CEO saw the cleaner's bruises? And his reaction left everyone in shock. In a world where people often look away from pain that isn't their own, one man noticed what others ignored. Every morning, the cleaner would silently mop the marble floors of a powerful company, her sleeves always rolled down, her eyes avoiding everyone's gaze. But one day, the CEO, known for his ruthless discipline, walked in earlier than usual. As he bent to pick up a dropped file, his eyes caught sight of something that made his blood run cold: dark bruises, half hidden beneath her sleeve. He froze. Was this from an accident? Or something far worse? What he did next left every employee in utter disbelief. What started as a normal workday soon turned into a story that would shake the entire company, and change 2 lives forever. Every morning before sunrise, Maria arrived at the tall glass building that glittered in the city's heart. Her job was simple: clean, dust, mop, and disappear before the executives filled the halls. No one ever really saw her. She was a ghost in a blue uniform. But behind her quiet smile was a life full of bruises, both visible and hidden. Her husband, once a kind man, had turned violent after losing his job. Each night, Maria prayed things would get better. Each morning, she hid the marks under long sleeves and makeup. She told herself she couldn't lose the job, it was the only thing keeping food on the table for her children. One morning, as she was cleaning the CEO's office, she accidentally knocked over a glass of water. The papers on the desk got soaked. Her heart raced, she couldn't afford another mistake. That's when she heard the heavy footsteps behind her. It was Mr. Richard Hale, the company's CEO. He was known as cold, strict, and distant. Maria trembled, trying to apologize. But as she turned to face him, the sleeve of her shirt slid down, revealing purple bruises on her arm. Richard froze. His sharp eyes softened instantly. "Maria, what happened to you?" he asked quietly. She stammered, "It's nothing, sir. I fell." But Richard wasn't convinced. He didn't say another word, just nodded and told her to take the day off. But inside, his mind was racing. Something wasn't right, and he intended to find out what. The next day, Richard called his HR director and asked about Maria. They told him she was a widow, a lie Maria had given to protect herself. Richard's curiosity deepened. He asked to see her work records and noticed she never took a sick day in 2 years. Someone that consistent either loves her job, he thought, or fears losing it. Later that evening, Richard saw Maria leaving the building. He followed her discreetly, not out of suspicion, but concern. She took the bus to a rundown neighborhood. When she got off, Richard watched from his car as a man stormed out of the house, yelling. He saw him shove Maria hard against the doorframe. That was all he needed to see. The next morning, Richard called her into his office. His tone was gentle. "Maria, you don't have to be afraid here," he said. She tried to smile, but tears fell. Finally, she whispered, "I can't leave him. My kids, he'll find us." Richard leaned forward. "No one will hurt you again. I promise." He immediately called a trusted friend, a lawyer who specialized in domestic abuse cases. Within hours, Maria was moved to a safe shelter with her children. The company quietly paid for her legal support and housing. For the first time in years, Maria slept without fear, but soon, the story spread across the office. Some thought Richard was overstepping. Others admired his compassion. Yet Richard didn't care about opinions, he cared about saving a life. Weeks passed, and Maria slowly rebuilt her confidence. Richard kept in touch, making sure she and her kids were safe. She began working again, this time in the HR department, not as a cleaner. Her story inspired a new company initiative, Second Chance Program, offering help to employees facing domestic violence or hardship. One day, during a staff meeting, Richard introduced Maria to the entire office. "This woman," he said, "taught me that leadership isn't about power, it's about humanity." The entire hall stood and applauded. Tears filled Maria's eyes as she said softly, "I thought I was invisible. But someone saw me." Months later, Maria's husband was arrested, and she finally found peace. She often told others, kindness from one person can rewrite your whole story. The CEO, once feared for his strictness, was now respected for his heart. And every time he walked past the janitor's closet, he remembered the moment that changed him, a pair of hidden bruises, and a decision that saved a life.